Shoulders. Yeah? Okay, cool. Isabella, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Getting there. Getting there one day at a time, slowly but surely. Learning through the eyeballs. All right, guys, welcome to Restorative Flow. My name is Martha. Hi, guys. We got stool spaces up here. And let's also make sure that we're all like within pieces of tape that look like a proper rectangle. Daniel, I actually might need you to scooch up a little bit or back, whatever you prefer. Back or forward. Okay, that seems easier. Yeah, cool, thanks. All right, everybody. So we got shoulders and lower back today. Any final calls on areas of request? Lower legs, okay. Okay, so like ankles, feet, calves. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, so let's get started in just a seated meditation. So I like to put up my hips a little bit higher than my knees. So two options here. You can take the bolster underneath your seat and just sit in easy pose. So it's actually one foot in front of the other versus your typical cross-legged where you're kind of cutting off circulation to your feet. So just put one foot in front of the other, or alternative, hero's pose. You can take a block underneath your seat, sit back on your shins. So whatever feels best for you today. All right, so let's get our hands somewhere comfortable on our knees, in our lap, palms facing down. If you need a little bit more sense of grounding today, palms facing up if you want to be in a more receiving posture. So you can be right there or right back there. Yeah. So that's the front of the neck. Okay. All right. So our eyes gently close. And you don't have to like squeeze your eyes super tightly shut. They can kind of just like hover, let maybe a little bit of light come in. But we want to find ease. So finding that ease is striking a balance between physical activation, muscular activation, but also a little bit of softness. Restorative flow is a little bit different from a vinyasa or a power vinyasa class because we want to find a way to engage passively with our postures. So here, sit up nice and tall, lengthen through the top of your head, but also soften your shoulders down away from your ears. You can tuck your chin in slightly to your chest so the back of your neck is nice and long. And now just notice your breath exactly where it is. Breathe in through your chest. And then push that air a little bit lower down into the base of your belly. So you can feel your belly button move away from your body and come back in. We got a spot right here. We got right here, a couple up front. Invite some deeper breaths in. Spot right there, and you got a couple up front. Maybe tap into your Ujjayi breath and start breathing in and out of your nose and exhale with a sound. So constrict the back of your throat as you breathe out. Pretend like you're fogging up a mirror. And that little sound of the breath helps us stay aware of our breath. And that awareness of breath can help us move deeper through our yoga postures. Sit up a little taller. Take 5 more deep breaths in. Slowly start rolling your shoulder blades around and softly blinking open your eyes. And then we're going to take our left hand down to the side of our mat or to a block. And then just gently reach our right arm up and over, side bend. You can come down onto your forearm or your hand, whatever feels good. Take a big breath in, come over to the other side. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches, palm facing down. One more time to each side. Exhale, bend a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale brings you back up to the other side. Inhale, come back through center and take a gentle twist to the left side. Take your right hand to your left knee, look over your left shoulder. Inhale, straighten your spine. Come back through center and switch sides, left hand to right knee. Look over your right shoulder, gentle twist. Come back through center. Grab hold of your knees, and we're gonna round through seated cat-cow. So here, we really let the weight of gravity kind of do the work here. As we round ourselves backwards, we pull our belly button in tight. Use your knees as the anchors to pull your hands down and kind of pull the weight forward. And then pull your arms into your ribs as you push your chest up to the ceiling. Exhale, round, straighten your arms, lean into that back bend. And then pull your upper arms back into your rib cage as you spread your collarbones wide to the ceiling. Exhale, round. Inhale, straighten. Two more. Coordinate your breath with the movement. One more big cat pose. Inhale back into your cow. And then we're going to take our straps before we go from this seat. So take your straps out nice and wide and grab opposite ends and have it straight enough that you can inhale it up over your head and then exhale the strap back behind you, but keep it nice and tight the entire way around. Inhale up, exhale straight in front of you, so you can even feel the tops of your arms getting a stretch here. Inhale up, exhale back. So this is just a little shoulder mobility to start. Inhale, reach up, exhale, inhale. Maybe you can pull the strap a little bit tighter as you make a few more rounds. Inhale up, exhale down. Go at your own pace for 5 more rounds. If there's a spot you really just want to pause and hold into, go for it. Just breathe as you move. And then invite more breath in than your just kind of baseline day-to-day breath that we're not really thinking about. Be intentional with your breath. Use your breath as a way to relax into the pose and kind of just be present here. Next time you bring your strap in front of you, you can bring it over to the side or move the bolster from underneath your seat and come onto tabletop, hands and knees. And we'll take a couple more rounds of cat-cow, but we can change it up a little bit by adding a wrist stretch into our cat-cow and see how that changes our experience. Breathe in, drop your belly. Exhale, push and round your spine. You can even tap into a little bit of a bear flow, just kind of moving the hips a little bit more around and kind of explore other variations of our bear flow or our cat-cow flow. Take 5 breaths to just kind of check in with your body on all fronts, how everything is doing. Take 2 more rounds of breath. And then come back to a neutral spine. Take your right arm straight ahead, gaze stays down, extend your left leg long back behind you. So now the abdominals are starting to pull in and engage. Take one more big breath to reach. Exhale, release. Other side, right leg kicks back, left arm reaches forward. Sides of the neck are long. Exhale, release. We're gonna take our left foot back behind us now, and we're gonna tuck our toes under. And then we're gonna lean into our heel, back and forth. So this gets a little bit into our calves, into the arches of our feet. Take about 2 more shifts of the hips. And then take your left leg, step it all the way out to the right side of your body. Look over your right shoulder at your foot. And then push back through your heel. Maybe even go back and forth with those little shifts of the hips to continue deepening through with the feet and the calf muscles. Take one more big breath here. Come back through center. Other side, tuck your right toes under, extend your leg all the way back behind you, and just softly bend back and forth. A little push through the heel. And then step it all the way out to the left side. Look over your left shoulder at your foot, and then continue to push back through your heel. Come back through center. Take your right arm, reach it all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread the needle. Bring your right shoulder down to the mat. Drop your hand to the mat. And you can take this left hand right in front, keep it there, or bring it all the way back behind you for a bind. And keep pulling your left hip away from your shoulder. Soften. Keep breathing. On your next exhale, slowly start to unwind. And your next inhale, take a counter stretch. Reach your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hand back down. Lift the left arm up and thread the needle. So your left hand threads behind your right wrist. So your left shoulder, the side of your head comes down. And then that bottom arm, press it into the mat, the back of your arm. So you can twist your chest up even more towards the ceiling. On your next exhale, slowly start to unwind. Inhale takes you up for a counter stretch. Left arm reaches up. Exhale, take your hand down. Child's pose. Open up your knees, bring your big toes to touch. And allow your hips to sink towards your ankles. So if there's any sensitivity or discomfort and tightness in the lower back, really emphasize squeezing your lowest abdominals in here. Anytime you fold forward, pulling in the lower abdominals, engaging them, helps relax the back side of the muscle, AKA the lower back. And that allows a little bit more space for us to fold forward from our hips rather than our spine. And if there's anyone today that does not want to be physically assisted, if you could just like raise your hand real quick today, right now, and I could figure that out. Okay. All right, cool. Take your hands off to the right side, either off the mat or just to the right corner, and reach through the left side of your waist. So sometimes here, the left hip likes to pop back up. So really anchor your left hip back down. On your next exhale, walk your hands off to the left side. And now bring focus to the right hip. Push the right hip back down so you can pull from the hip and then reach through your hands to deepen through the right side of your waist. Come back through center, downward facing dog, or tabletop. If there's any shoulder discomfort, you can just stay on hands and knees, or really engage your shoulder blades. So we're squeezing our shoulder blades together and down our back, so our chest can push back towards our thighs. Take 2 more breaths here. You can pedal out your dog for a few moments to get even deeper into each calf. And whenever you're ready, walk your hands back through your feet, ragdoll, or whatever direction. Just bring your feet nice and wide and grab your elbows so you can hang out. And again, that squeeze of the lower belly helps soften the lower back here. And also a bend to the knees can ease into the lower back. If you know your lower back is super tight, or the hamstrings, that little bit of softness can help you ease into the posture. So especially as we're just starting out, really allow any kind of fluidity to the joints. Let your head hang heavy. Shake it out, yes. And shake it out, no. Release your hands to the mat. Slowly roll all the way up to standing, 1 vertebra at a time. No rush. And then inhale, take a full body stretch. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And feel all the weight of your body ground into your feet. Lift all 10 toes and really emphasize the 4 corners of your feet pressing down into the mat. And by doing so, you may see or feel like your legs want to engage. So engage through your quads. Pull in all your abdominals in, give them all a nice little hug as we round our shoulder blades down our back. Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel like that mountain. Notice all the engagement and strength that this body has, even just standing here. Set an intention for your practice today. Inhale, arms straight up. Open up, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, straighten your spine. So I like to take my hands to my shins to really make sure I allow that straightening of my spine. Or hands can come to the floor, whatever works. Exhale, step back, high plank. Take 3 breaths here. Knees can come down if you need to support your lower back still. We can still get a good core engagement here. Take 2 more breaths. And then slowly lower all the way down to the floor. Elbows hug into your sides. Take 3 cobras. Lift just your heart off the mat. Exhale, lower. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Lift up a little higher. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Pull the elbows in. Exhale, lower down. Child's pose. Send your hips back. Open up your knees. Take 3 breaths here. Downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. And on your last exhale, look at your hands and walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Nice and easy. When we all get to the top of our mat, inhale, straight spine. So our upper back is fully straight. So notice if there's any kind of like bubble happening and really pull the shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Full body stretch. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck your low belly in. Allow that fold from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, high plank. Take 1 powerful breath here and exhale in 1 long line to the floor. So everything touches at the same time. Core still engaged. 3 cobras. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift, squeeze the elbows in. Exhale, lower. Take one more. Use your upper back to lift. Exhale, lower down. Child's pose. And if you want to skip the child's pose and go straight to down dog, feel free if that's better for your knees. But these extra child poses, a little extra love to the lower back today. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take one big breath here, and then exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, straighten your spine. Exhale, folds. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, straighten. Step it back, high plank. Elbows hug in, lower. We'll just take one cobra now. Lift your chest. Exhale, lower. Child's pose. We'll take one more round so the body is nice and warm. Big breath in, downward facing dog. Exhale, feet to hands. Halfway lift. Folds. Rise all the way up. And when we get up top, grab your right wrist with your left hand and then bend over towards the white walls or towards the left side of your mat for those of you at home. Breath in comes back through center. Other side, exhale, bend towards the windows or towards the right. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, folds. Halfway lift. Step it back, high plank. Lower all the way down. One cobra, squeeze the shoulders. Exhale, lower. Child's pose. This time, bring your knees closer together and reach your hands back towards your ankles or your feet. So start with your knees as close as you can. And then if you can grab your feet, you can also use a strap here as well. Then try to open up your knees once you have that grip. Because the more you open up your knees, the more you can spread through your upper back and soften that space behind your heart. So breathe into the top of your upper back, especially with this constriction in the front of the body. As we breathe in, your stomach might feel like it's pressing up against your legs. So invite all of that air into the back of the rib cage, the back of the lungs, the sides of the rib cage. And kind of recognize the capacity that we have and fill up all available space with air. Take two more breaths here. Allow your forehead to just drop to the mat. And then bring your hands back up to the front of your mat. Downward facing dog. Take your big toes to touch. And then lift your right leg all the way up to the ceiling. Kick through your heel. And then bend your knee to open up your hip. Almost, Joe. That's the next step. But from here, just try to bring your foot a little closer to your glute. But keep your shoulders right where they were before. Yes, Isabel, perfect. So take this shoulder back down to the, yes, there it is. And slowly pull your knee into your chest, step it through for a low lunge. So your back knee can come down and your hands could either come to your thigh or you can take your blocks alongside for a little bit of balance. So for our low lunge, there's sometimes this tendency to just throw your whole body forward, but I like to kind of reel it back a little bit and really focus on the squeezing of this back leg. So really engage through your left glute, tuck your toes under, and see if you already feel that release of the hip flexor from here. And if you do not, you have very open hip flexors, then you can keep creeping your heel forward Make sure the knee stays right over your ankle and keep leaning into that front hip, but maintain that straight lower back. So we don't want to be here and kind of crunching all the way into our lower back, especially for those lower back requests. This is not always what the lower back likes to do. So pull tall through your spine and just keep engaging that back glute. Take about 2 more breaths here. Every inhale straightens the spine. Every exhale softens into the hip. And then from here, we're going to turn our back shin 90 degrees to open our hips to the left side or to the white wall, modified extended side angle. So our hips are facing the left side, but we're reaching our back arm forward. And now really allow yourself to sink into your front knee. Front toes are facing the front of the room. Daniel, bring your ankle a little bit forward. Yeah, so your knees still stay stacked. Palm is facing down. Take one more breath here. Exhale, plant your left hand behind you, straighten your front leg, gate pose. Reach your top arm towards the back of the room now. And then exhale all the way back to the front of the mat and come into a half split. So walk your hands forward. Your hip is still stacked right over your back knee. And from here, we lift our foot up off the mat, flex our toes. We can keep a softness to our knee. If we want to use our straps to squeeze our toes forward, back towards our face to go deeper, that's an option. Or the blocks alongside of the legs for some balance. And the more you pull through your toes and push through your heel, the deeper you can get into the calf muscle as well. And then sink forward into your low lunge. Breathe in, chest lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Look into your half split, chest to knee. Inhale, take about 5 rounds of this flow between each pose. Low lunge, half split. Or if you want to feel one posture a little deeper, feel free to hold. Just move with your breath here. Your breath is the guide. However long your breath lasts, let that be the length of the posture. And then find your way into one last half split. And we'll do a little bit of quick ankle mobility while we're here. So we're going to point our toes towards the front of the mat and then flex our toes back into our half split. Point your toes and flex 3 more times. Point and flex, point and flex. Last round, point and flex. Slowly bring your legs back together into your hips. Give yourself a little shake. And then pop back up, downward facing dog. Big toes to touch. Left leg kicks up and bend your knee. Shoulders stay right where they were in down dog. So the shoulders don't twist, just the foot. And then try to bring your foot towards your glute. Yeah, there it is. And then knee pops up a little bit higher. Pull your knee into your chest, step it through, low lunge. So again, let's start with the stacking. So now our right glute is engaged. And if we need some support with our knee, we can always fold up the side of our mat, give that support if we don't have a blanket or a towel nearby. As someone with a knee injury, I'm very cognizant of this. So definitely take any support that you need. This is restorative. We're here for that. And then really rock solid right glute allows you to sink deeper, tuck your back toes under. And if you're still looking for more, now we bring this left foot forward. Keep the knee stacked, chest lifts. Remember, the lower back stays nice and long, so a little tuck of the lowest abdominals helps put you there. On your next breath out, take your back shin, turn it 90 degrees to open up your hips towards the windows, right side of the mat. Elbow can come to your thigh, reach your right arm up and over towards the front of the room. You can also take your hand to the floor or a 12 block. And then sink into your front knee. Yeah. Your back toes can untuck if you would like. Open up your chest a little bit more to the ceiling. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, plant your right hand behind you, straighten your left leg, gate pose. Take your top arm, reach it all the way back. And then exhale, drop your hands in front of you, walk them all the way back to the front of the mat for your half split. And then you can use your strap or your blocks for some support here. Cushion on the knees. Allow your forehead to soften. And then whenever you're ready, you can flow through your low lunge. Inhale. Exhale, half split. Inhale. And exhale. 5 more rounds. Or find stillness wherever your body is really calling for. On your last little lunge, shift forward, bring your knees back together. Give yourself a little shake. And grab your bolster or your blocks. We're gonna set up for half pigeon. So you can come into it from down dog or tabletop. We just wanna have our right knee right behind our right wrist. And then our bolster over here is gonna bring us some support for our chest. If the bolster is too low to the ground still, you can take some blocks underneath the bolster and create a little ramp to make the bolster come up a little bit higher. And then also, if you have any other blocks or blankets, you can inject a block or a blanket right underneath your butt cheek that's floating up off the ground to kind of ease into the hip opener, because our whole body weight is kind of falling onto our hip. If that's too much, this can help alleviate some of that pressure. But if this is still not in agreement with our bodies today, then we can take a figure 4 stretch on our backs, just crossing our right ankle over our right ankle over left thigh, and just grab the back of our left thigh here. Both will give you the same effect. Just on your back, is you have a little bit more control of that weight that you pull onto your hip. You can have your forehead down or turn your head to one side, whatever feels best on your neck. And if anyone ever needs some extra props, just wave your hand and I'll come by and grab you some extras. Everyone take a big breath in and take a big sigh out. And notice your breath again. Has anything changed? Has it stayed the same? If it's a little too much, you can keep bringing this foot closer to your body. If that feels a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, the foot can be as close as you want it to your groin, or you can move it all the way up to the front edge of your mat. There's a lot of variation with our half pigeon. And whatever foot is underneath you, really flex that foot a lot so you have some protection for your knee here. And if the knee feels a little funky, definitely engage the foot and maybe bring it a little bit closer to your body as well. Just gonna shift your hips a little bit over here. Yes, nice. Mm. Maybe tap back into your Ujjayi breath here. I'm gonna bring your hips just a touch over here. Yeah, there it is, nice and level. I'm gonna take this leg, bring it right or back behind you. Right there, okay. Does that feel better? Nice, that keeps the hips a little bit more in line. You feeling okay? Okay. If the hip ever feels too intense, you can bring your knee in a little bit closer to your body. And notice, what are those first thoughts that kind of creep back into your mind when we have a moment of pause? And kind of see what is getting in your way of being fully present here. If you already put in all the effort to come here, get on your mat, rearrange your day, really commit to being completely here. Not just physically here, but mentally as well. I notice that a lot even in my own practice. I try to do all these things to help chill out, relax, but sometimes during those things, I'm still all up in my head thinking about all the things I got to do, everything I'm worried about, and I'm not really getting that sense of relief that I came for. So that is a conscious choice that even I can't choose for you. So make that choice to be fully committed to this moment. We're going to take 3 more breaths on this side. And whenever you're ready to shift over to the other, you can take a counter stretch through down dog, tabletop. Maybe rearrange your blocks. One hip may have some more tightness than the other. So if you need to make some modifications, don't hold yourself to whatever you did on the other side. Clean slate, other side. And yeah, if you need to take a moment to kind of just like shake out your hips, just prepare for the other side. You can open up your knee again through downward facing dog. And then take your left knee to the back of your left wrist. And the option on your back is totally there for you as well, even if you didn't do it on the other side. Flex your bottom foot a lot, insert any support that you need, and allow your chest to sink forward. And then try to turn your head in the other direction that it was turned before, so your neck has a nice balance in the twist. And if that is too much on your neck, you can just plant your forehead straight down. If you feel like your hips are kind of leaning to one side, make sure your back leg is nice and extended towards the center of your mat, not like out to the side. Whoops. Relax your toes, Daniel. Yeah. Take a big breath in and a big sigh out. I'm gonna shift you over just a touch, right here, yeah. Breathe a little deeper. Every single square inch of your body with oxygen. Give your body what it needs. Notice any areas that are still feeling tight and tense or still resisting that relaxation you came here for. Sometimes we have to kind of go in and manually tell our forehead to relax, tell our jaw to relax, tell our shoulders, see what is holding on for you. Take 5 more deep breaths to this side. Just a little bit right up here, yeah. Whenever you feel complete on this side, you can slowly start lifting your chest. Any counter stretch, this side feels the need to take. Got a couple breaths. And then remove all the props from in front of you. And then come onto all fours. Grab your strap. And we're gonna sit back onto our feet for toes pose with some shoulder work. And I know toes pose is not the crowd favorite. However, it is very good for you, I promise. I feel like, especially for Florida, it's like a lot of flip-flop weather all the time. My orthopedists are not huge fans of flip-flops. They're not really great for the body. Or being barefoot. I feel like after a year of being at home, I'm walking barefoot all the time. So I kind of need a little extra love. So to distract from this foot situation, 2 options. You can take a block right between your glutes and your shins. This takes just a little bit of the load off your feet, but try to keep it here, not folding forward. And then from here, Gomukhasana arms. We're gonna take our strap in our right hand, bring it right at the base of our neck, base of our ponytail. And then we're gonna take our left hand, palm facing towards the back of the room, grab the other end of the strap. And then we're gonna try to bring our hands as close as we can to each other. Some of you might not need the strap and you can hook your hands together. That's cool too. But while we're here, try to bring this right elbow all the way up to the ceiling and squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. Take 2 more big breaths here. Breathe nice and loud. Exhale, switch it over, other side. So take the strap now in your left hand, base of the neck, right hand meets the other end. Be kind and don't force this side to be like the other. And again, with this left elbow, pop it straight up to the ceiling. Keep breathing through your feet. You only have 3 more breaths. This is only temporary. You got this. Keep going. Take 1 more big breath in. Exhale, slowly release the strap. Come forward, tap the tops of your feet against the mat. Yeah. Nice little shake. Yeah. There it is. Nice. All right. Okay. Back to something more fun. All right. We're good. Okay. So I'm going to take this bolster right in front of me. So long ways, similar to a half pigeon. And now we're going to take a seated child's pose twist. Wow. Okay. That just escaped me for a moment. Okay. So we're going to take the base of our right hip to the base of our bolster. So we're making an L shape with our thigh and the bolster. And then from here, we twist our chest forward so the heart is in line with the bolster. And then we fold forward. So the knees can stay stacked right on top of each other. But if you feel like there isn't a whole lot happening here, you can spread your knees apart to take your right foot to the top of your left thigh. And then if the neck feels all right, twisting all the way around, it can go there or point in the same direction as your knees. And this is a pose where that softening really comes into play, because this is a very subtle stretch for a lot of people. So really allow every exhale to sink deeper into this bolster. We're just passively adding space and mobility to our spine. So it's not about physically pushing ourselves there. It's about letting go into the pose. And maybe see what's kind of popping up in your mind that's preventing you from letting go completely, and what could be holding you back. Sometimes it's like really silly things, like what we're going to eat later. Or sometimes it's things that have been bothering us for a long time slowly start to come up out of our mind when our body opens up in a certain kind of way. But see what that means for you. What's your own experience in this pose? And if you feel like the distractions are overcoming you, take a big breath in and a big sigh out. Make it loud to remind your body where you are and to stay fully present. So we want to turn this shoulder down to the bolster as much as you can. Oh, okay. You do what you need to do.
Thank you.
If you want to take another posture, you can turn this bolster sideways and just lean over it so you're not having any pressure on your chest. So even more, you want to have the bolster right underneath here. Yeah. So just lean over it and then take your head to the pillow, and then take this bottom arm can be straight ahead so you're not cutting off circulation, and then this arm can reach over your head. Yeah, of course. Don't worry, got it. Thanks. But again, what is coming up for you that's preventing you from being here? And be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself if it's hard to stay fully present. The human brain is so powerful. It takes a lot of work, constant work actually, to keep that in check. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. But continue to stay kind, because some days will be easier than others. So use your hands to lift your chest back up. And then we're just going to take a little turn to the back of the room so we can bring our left hip now to the base of the bolster. Straighten our chest, align heart to center. And then we walk our hands forward, lay down, knees can stay together to start, and then spread wide. Head can turn all the way around or just out to the side. And then one side might be more twistable than the other. So again, keep that kindness to yourself. I have a lot of perfectionist tendencies that really get in my way. So sometimes, especially when I first started practicing yoga, I really try to demand my body to be the exact same way on both sides and almost push myself past a certain limit that the one side didn't want to go. but we can work our way towards balance, but maybe not right away. Maybe it takes time to build that greater balance. You don't have to achieve it right now all at once. And every exhale continues to allow us to soften. Try to see if you can keep bringing this left shoulder down. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And whenever you feel complete, take your hands, walk your chest back up. And then we're going to move our bolster off to this side. And we're going to take a supported bridge pose. So we're going to come onto our backs now. And there's 2 options here. So we can use our block or we can use the bolster. The bolster will lift your hips up not so high. So if you want that, this is definitely a nice comfy option. Or you can take your block right underneath you, 3 different heights. There's the lowest, middle, highest. So you can kind of choose whatever feels best. So we want to come into a bridge pose. Ankles are as close as we can to our body. So you want to be able to kind of graze your ankles with your fingers. And then we're going to lift our hips, squeeze our glutes, and then place our block right on our sacrum. So that's kind of like right at the top of your butt crack, to be totally candid. It's not your lumbar spine. You don't want to put that kind of angle into the lumbar. It's not really interested in that kind of bend. So that's why the sacrum is a nice flat base. So that makes this pose actually a little bit more effortless. If you're on your lower back, it may require like your muscles will kind of start feel like they're firing up. So wherever you feel like it's easy to stay, sometimes coming onto the edge of the bolster, like the back edge, also helps kind of tilt the pelvis back towards you. And now with every exhale, we allow the weight of our hips to sink into the mat. And if you want to interlace your hands behind the block and puff up your chest, that's an option there too. Or you can just really settle, whatever feels best. Keep a little gentle squeeze of your inner thighs so your knees are staying stacked over your ankles. And with every exhale, allow your body weight to sink into the support. Those of you using a block, if you lower the block to its lowest setting, You can lift your hips all the way, lift your legs all the way up to the ceiling for a waterfall pose. It may be difficult to achieve that with that highest setting, so I would kind of bring it to its lowest or the middle at most. Or if you're on the bolster, just really let your hips just fall back and kind of let your legs fall towards you. So be on the edge of the block so your hips are kind of falling towards you. Yeah, that back edge, yeah. Take 5 deep breaths here, just allowing the blood flow to invert, come back to the heart, all of the internal organs. And after your last breath, bring your feet back down to the mat for a bridge pose. And then use the strength of your hips and your glutes to lift your hips actively, remove the block, and lower 1 vertebrae at a time back onto your mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And then we're going to either just open up to Shavasana right here, put a bolster underneath your thighs, or you can rock and roll up and down the length of your spine to come up to a seat for a couple other options. If you want to keep that inversion feeling going, my all-time favorite always is Stonehenge pose, where you can put the bolster on the blocks and just chill with your legs nice and easy. Or if you want a bit more of like a chest and heart opening feeling, have the bolster going a long ways down the mat and just lay all the way back, arms opening out, legs can extend, come into a butterfly, Supta Baddha. And since we do have the strap, we can also take the Supta Baddha stretch with the strap to help really deepen the hip opener. If you want that option, you just put the strap around your body and you hook the outer edges of your feet with that same strap. Tighten it a little bit. It does get tighter as you lean back, so just kind of give yourself a little extra room, and then we lay back. So just anything that feels super comfortable. So take that strap all the way around. So it's inside, yeah. So it's around your lower back, yeah, yeah. And then you want to bring the strap inside of your legs. Hold on. So right there, and then yeah. And then now you lay back. And you can even stick those blocks underneath your knees, underneath if you need some extra support there too. Wherever we are, take a big breath in and a big sigh out. Let's just take one more for good measure. And relax. That's all you're here to do. Nothing else. Continue to allow your body to sink into the support and surrender your whole body here. Take a big breath in and let it all go. Start giving some life back into the body, wiggling your fingers and toes. And however you want to get there, roll onto whatever side is most comfortable. And just take your knees into your chest for a fetal position to honor your body, to honor this practice, and to take everything that we've acquired from this practice today in this past hour and take it off of our mats with us into the rest of our day, where our practice can continue. Come up to a seat with your eyes closed. Bring your hands to your heart. And send some loving kindness to yourself. Remind yourself you are loved, you are strong, you are capable, especially after a difficult year for us all. It really has shown we're all so much more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. Send some loving kindness to someone else in your life. And then bring your thumb knuckles to your third eye. I send my loving kindness to every single yogi in this room. Thank you all so very much for sharing your loving kindness, your loving light with everyone here. So let's bow and now acknowledge each other and share the word. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Namaste, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My name is Martha. If you have any questions or feedback for me, please let me know. And before you guys go, there's something very special happening right after this class. We have a photo shoot happening, but it is for a massage company. I believe it is called Body Therapy. And they're looking for some volunteers for some photographs. So if you want to get a few minutes of a complimentary massage and get your picture taken as the payment, I guess you can say, then stick around. They need a couple of volunteers. Lizzie, one of our owners, who's actually getting married today. So send all that love and light to her today. Very exciting. So Body Remedy is the company that Lizzie has been working with for several years for her massages, and they're really, really great. So if anyone just wants to kind of ride out this chill wave, stick around. There's no cost to you, just a couple moments of your time and a few snaps of your beautiful faces. I wish I could extend that to those of you on Zoom, but thank you, Monique, for joining us today, as always. Thank you, thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
You take care.
Thank you, you too. All right. Okay, we did it.